It's 5:12 and a fight over student voting rights on the Howard County Board of Education heads to court. Following a virtual hearing tonight, a judge will decide whether students can continue to have both a voice and a vote on matters affecting their education. WMAR2 News' Mark Roper is live in Ellicott City outside the Howard County Department of Education. So, Mark, what exactly prompted this case to go to court?
Good morning, Megan. Well, it was a Howard County School Board vote on when to reopen schools. Two Howard County parents filed a lawsuit out of frustration that schools remain closed and that a student member of the board had a vote in making these critical decisions.
Howard County School Board meetings have gone digital during the pandemic, and on screen you'll find 7 adult members elected by voters and 1 youth member elected by students.
Thank you. I'll defer to my colleagues.
When we started watching the Board of Education meetings, every single vote about reopening plans ended in gridlock, 4-4 gridlock. And we noticed that a student was part of that gridlock.
Howard County parents Tracy Spiegel and Kim Ford filed a lawsuit to not only put an end to the gridlock, but the binding vote of the student member who sits on the Board of Education.
Howard County is one of the few that allows their student member to have a binding vote. We don't believe a minor should have a vote on major issues.
Right now, when a student member has a vote, a supermajority is required to pass anything. That means the only way to pass any sort of motion at the school board level is by a 5-3 vote.
And in the event of a 4-4 tie,
motion fails 4-4.
as in last December's vote to reopen schools by February, 3 members, along with the student member, voted no, which is why, with an even number of 8 school board members, the attorney representing these parents hopes to put an end to stalemates by taking away the binding vote of student board members.
If we eliminate the student member vote, then we get back to a regular majority rule, 4-3. We'll have a 7-member board, and as the statutes dictate, you only need 4 votes when the student member is disqualified.
Spiegel and Ford's lawsuit makes the argument the student member of the board is chosen by other students who aren't old enough to vote in official state elections. Therefore, they believe student members should not have the same voting rights as elected members of the board. Lawyers for the Howard County School Board would not comment on the pending litigation. However, court documents state their position. They argue the Maryland Constitution doesn't require school board positions to be filled through a formal election by registered voters, since the General Assembly created the student board seat as a non-elected position.
If plaintiff's theory here is to be believed, and if the voting rights of the Howard County member are ruled to be unconstitutional, that will disrupt a legal framework by which voting rights have existed for student members in the state of Maryland for over 50 years.
Emily Wilson is an attorney representing the interest of 128 former Maryland Student Board members. They, along with the school board itself, are asking the court to dismiss this case.
This is a really rich tradition in Maryland. It's something that we as Maryland residents should all be very proud of, that we value student voice and student input in education policymaking, and we should absolutely be seeking to protect that at all costs.
As a former Howard County student member of the board, Tommy Williams lent his name to this case in support of past, present, and future students who serve.
There is no Howard County Board of Education if it's not for the students who attend, and the students for whom, all of these structures are supposed to be in place.
The Howard County School Board has had a student member with voting rights since 2007.
There is a list of things that they can and cannot vote on. School reopening is not one of them because we've never been in this situation before, but budget and personnel issues are. And I think that budget and personnel issues are a huge impact to reopening.
Now, some Howard County public school students started returning to the classroom about 2 weeks ago, and depending upon what grade they're in, most students probably won't return until sometime between the end of this month and mid-April. Reporting live in Howard County, Mark Roper, WMAR2 News.